Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Retail Therapy. Welcome my guest, Amy McGee in Houston,
Hello.
Coldwell Banker. Yes. So, Amy, thank you for joining me today on my
Absolutely.
Retail Therapy. We are doing something special today since we are smack dab in the middle of hurricane season. And I know last week on your Ask Amy segment, you actually highlighted some really good pointers about hurricane season and some things that people can do to get prepared for it and things like that. And so this week, what we've done, you and I got together and picked some really good items that people can build, can use to build the hurricane kit. So, how much fun is this? We are actually going to build the hurricane kit together live, and you guys can actually purchase it right here on Amazon Live, and build your kit together. What do you think about that, Amy?
I love this. For one, a lot of my clients are new to Houston, and so they don't know as much about hurricane and flood season. And while I don't want to terrify anybody because I love Houston and I've been through hurricanes and floods safely my whole life, I do want to make sure that people who are new to the city know kind of how to be ready and how to have what they need to have. And we've kind of made it a one-stop shop where people can just click through and follow this video and figure out what they might need, what they might already have, and what they might need to add to their collection. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I think it's a great idea. And I've long held the theory that anytime Megan Hunt asks you to do something, if you say yes, life is a lot more fun. Just don't question, just say yes, because it's always fun. It's always great.
Well, thank you. I take that
You're
as a
welcome.
compliment.
It's a huge compliment.
It is. It's huge, but we always have fun,
Yes,
So,
always.
but while I am, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Oopsie.
It's live. That's what
It's
happens when
live.
it's live. We'll do it
But
live.
I was going to say, I'm going to pull up some of this stuff in our carousel. But in the meantime, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about, some pointers
Hurricane
about
safety. Yeah.
hurricane safety and things like that. But before you do, just one second. If y'all are joining us from YouTube or Twitter or anything like that, you can actually, if you don't catch the full thing, you can go to www.myretailtherapy.live. Make sure you unmute and chat and give us a follow. Give me a follow on myretailtherapy.live. That way you'll be notified of, all the future live streams that we do on Amazon Live. And hopefully Amy will come back on with me.
Of course. And I would really love it to know any of my friends or clients that are following. Please give us a chat, like Megan said, so that we know you're online and I can count one more safe person with a great hurricane kit. So, yes, just please let me know you're here. And always, you're welcome to follow me on Instagram on Amy on the clock, which I think is terribly funny because my personal one is Amy off the clock. So yes, there we go. Amy's on the clock. And Amy's also on the move on YouTube, and you can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook as well. So thanks for giving me a follow. Okay, so why don't I touch on 2 points that are the most important phrases to hear in Houston? You ready for that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So every year there are 2 phrases that we have to remind everyone of. One of them is hunker down, which I always want to say hunker down, yeehaw. It's very Houston phrase, but what it means is be prepared to stay in place, shelter in place when you're told to. Hurricane seasons can honestly be kind of fun because you can hang out with your family and friends. You're in an enclosed space. You can play board games. You can do anything to kind of pass the time. But hunkering down means don't go out there in that weather when it's crazy. Find a safe place and hunker down. The other phrase in Houston that's so important is turn around, don't drown. So every year, unfortunately, we will have some absolutely needless, tragic deaths because someone doesn't understand how powerful shallow waters are, and that there may be a current underneath those shallow waters that you can't see on the surface. And so if you see blockades, especially going under a bridge, don't enter that water. Don't take it on yourself and think, oh, I'm driving a Jeep or I'm driving an SUV. It only takes about 10 inches of water to sweep your car away, and people get stuck every year. So just do not drive into any kind of water. If it's covering the road, turn around, don't drown. Wait it out in your car if you have to. It's better to have a story to tell and not to risk your life. So I also have some general high points on how to get ready for the hurricane season. Would you like me to go over those, Megan?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But before you do,
Yep.
let's show, we've got some stuff on our, one of the things that we do have here is the, oops, that's not the right one. I'm sorry, Amy.
I'm excited about that one, but you're sneak peeking it.
I know. I'm sneak peeking it. I actually, a couple of things that I highlighted here are the, oops, I've got so many windows open. It's crazy.
I've seen your computer set up. If you have as many windows open as you have screens up, you are like a teenage boy's dream with all those. You could be a gamer all day long. It's amazing.
I know. I actually love Twitch, but like I'm still in infancy on that platform. Yep. So yeah, we might have a few people watching on Twitch, hopefully, right?
Cool.
I know. I love it over there. But yeah, one of the things that I featured here is the generator. And this is going to come in handy when you lose power. But let's come back to that and tell us what the features are. Or tell us what you were just about to say. Sorry.
What I was just about to say, yes, because there are many features about that product, which I'm excited about. But before we get there, so there are basically, I believe, 7, and forgive me, I'm going to check my notes just a little bit. Quick points I want to make about being safe in Houston, keeping yourself and your property safe. First, because I am a realtor, check the websites. The first one is Harris County FEMT, which stands for Federal Emergency Mapping Tool. Federal Education Mapping Tool. I'm wrong again. Do I get a prize if I get it right the third time? I'm gonna take 3. So Flood Education Mapping Tool. That's what I get for trying not to look at my notes. So Harris County FEMT.org, Flood Education Mapping Tool.org. You can plug any address in Harris County into that website, and it will show you where that property, even if it's a property you're just considering, falls on flood maps and flood zones. It'll help you just determine whether or not you should get insurance, but it will also help you evaluate your risk. It is not a perfect system. So I also recommend that people not only check the seller's disclosures from the sellers, but even more than that, because sometimes there can be a flood history that was several owners back that the owners genuinely don't even know about. Or sometimes, people lie. They don't always tell the truth. I know, it's shocking. So it's a good idea to knock on neighbors' doors to talk about, what kind of flood experiences they've had. If a property flooded in Harvey, it may never flood again. I mean, that was just a crazy, crazy time. And if a property only gets street flooding, that might not be the end of the world either, but just know your risk. I advise everyone to get flood insurance. Absolutely everyone. Yes, because we learned that water from a plumbing incident will be covered under your existing homeowner's policy. So if it was a pipe burst, something in the house happened, bathtub overflowed, you got to replace the second floor, that's going to be under your general homeowner's policy. But flooding, any case of rising water, is not covered under a general homeowner's policy. So there's actually 2 different kinds of flood insurance from the NFIP. So no matter what insurance agent you go to, you're going through the National Flood Insurance Program. I got that one right. Woo! All right. So There's two different kinds. There's building coverage and there's contents coverage. And I'm here to tell you that contents coverage is really, really important because we know neighborhoods. I will not say them out loud because I don't want to stigmatize them because it's not the whole neighborhood, but there are neighborhoods that sadly after Harvey, you could drive through and see everyone's content from their homes on the curb. And you just prayed that all of those people had content flood insurance. So get it now. It's not expensive. And you actually cannot write a new flood policy if there's an active hurricane in the Gulf. It doesn't matter if there's one anywhere else, but the second a hurricane hits the Gulf, you cannot write new flood insurance. So get it now. Right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Well, finish watching us and then go get it.
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to need two plans. You're going to need a shelter in place plan, which is going to have a hurricane kit, which we're going to talk about. And you also need an evacuation plan. Never leave your pets behind. There was a law passed in 2006. I know you, Megan, and I both have dogs that we are just absolutely crazy about. And we know you just don't leave your fur kids in the house. If you go, they go. And it's actually a federal law now passed in 2006, right after Hurricane Katrina, that if states or cities are going to get federal relief funding, they have to make accommodations for pets and service animals as well during, before, and after a major emergency. So it's not just you, it's the law. So make sure you have, if you have to go somewhere, you take your cat, dog, snake, turtle, whatever. If you if you're told to evacuate as soon as humanly possible. You don't want to be the last person on the road. So get out fast. We're going to give you a couple tips of things to have in your evacuation kit, as well as your hurricane shelter in place kit. I'm going to give a quick preview. One of them is a printable map, an actual old-fashioned map. We'll show you that in a bit.
Yeah. And Amy, just didn't mean to interrupt you, but no, just, please. Just to say, yes, absolutely. I think a lot of people, they don't leave right away because they think, well, it's not raining that bad. And if it does, then, then I'll start to go. But here's the problem is that if you wait, you might not be able to A, get gas, B, get like cash out of the machine, and then you've got to account for all of the traffic that's going to be on the road. I mean, how many times did we see in the past, like just people got stuck on I-45 and dead still traffic, could not even evacuate the city because they waited. Right?
That's what I love Houston madly, and I don't want to frighten people away from Houston. The people who were stuck were the people who waited. If you evacuate when you're told to evacuate, you will be fine.
And then they ran out of gas. Yeah, they ran out of gas on the freeway, which caused gridlock because all the gas stations were sold out or closed.
Yeah. So just don't wait. Don't wait. Don't be like those folks. Be like you and be prepared with the things we're talking about today. And then all your hurricane memories will be pleasant ones like mine are. And you will never have a scary memory of a hurricane, just some noisy winds and lots and lots of rain. So
hurricane party.
Nothing to be ashamed of, throwing a hurricane party. So because I'm a realtor, let me give you a few points on strengthening your home to protect that house, especially if I helped you buy it. Trim the trees away that might either lose large branches on your roof or that could damage your home in strong winds. If they've, I actually recently, or land on a car or a person.
That happened to me.
Oh gosh. Oh, that's horrible.
I had my car for 1 week, my brand new Mercedes, and a tree branch fell on it and bent the frame of the car, like the top frame of the car. I know. 1 week. 1 week.
So watch where you park in hurricane season. Well, don't park. Don't be like Megan. Watch where you park. Be like Megan in every other way. Yeah, anything that might damage your home in strong winds, and those trees are, some of them are going to bend like they're made out of rubber in super high winds. So just trim them back from that house. Anything that's heavy that's outside that can become a really heavy frisbee, get that indoors, whether that's potted plants or patio furniture, bring it inside. Move your car to a high ground. If you do think you're in risk of flooding and you have to shelter in place, make it somewhere you can get to pretty quickly, but go ahead and move it. If you are right on the coast, like in Galveston, or if you're seeing this from out of state and you're in a market like Florida, go ahead and create plywood cutouts to cover your windows. And if they're the right shape, all you ever have to do is just put them back up with some light nails and take them back down. So that's not as important like inner loop Houston, but it's really important on the coast. Then just stay aware, follow your local TV stations, especially online. There are 2 apps that I keep, the Weather Channel and the NOAA Weather Radar. They even let me know when there's nearby lightning, so I know when to hurry up and walk my dog. So those are great apps. Number 7, check on your neighbors. They might not have all of these great products we're going to tell you to have, and they may be relying on your hurricane kit. So, and if you know someone who requires a little extra mobility assistance or medical assistance, you can register them online at the State of Texas Emergency Assistance Registry, which stands for STEAR, STEAR, or the other way. Anyway, I got that one right though. Pat on the back. State of Texas Emergency Assistance Registry. Google that. Get your neighbors that might need a little extra help registered. It is not a guarantee that help is coming during a hurricane, but it's good to play the odds and get them registered. Always know what the innermost room of your house is that does not have windows, because hurricanes can spawn tornadoes and tornado-like winds. And in those kinds of high winds, you need to be in ideally a closet under the stairs or somewhere with no glass that can be broken and sharp glass flying around, and somewhere you can all be under good solid beams and safe. So it's usually a closet or a bathroom on your first floor. Lastly, do not wade in floodwaters if you can at all help it. There can be downed power lines, there can be sewage, there can be all kinds of problems. You will see people doing it and thinking it's funny. You will see people who have to do it. If you can avoid it as much as you can. And if you have to go through it, get that flood water off you right away. So I have to say this for Houston. I mean, we are an amazing city. We're the 3rd largest city in the country now by population. We were 4th, but we passed Chicago. But we don't have to deal with earthquakes or forest fires. We are incredible in the arts and the sports and foodies. Oh my gosh. But you just have to deal. Oh my gosh, you can never run out of restaurants to eat in. But you are going to need some of these things that we're going to mention. Maybe not all of them, but I think every single one is a good idea. So with that, shall we let's take a look at what we might like to have in our hurricane kits. And Megan and I both kind of coordinated on this. So some of these are my ideas, some are hers, and it's going to be exciting to see how it all comes out. And a reminder, if you are watching this, please chat with us. We want to hear your comments on what we're putting up and what you think.
Yeah, if you're watching from Twitch, if you're watching from Twitter or the Facebook groups or pages, you can always find these products that we're going over today at www.myretailtherapy.live. That will take you straight to my Amazon page where all of these products are featured. Right now, it's going to show you live while the stream is going, where the carousel is. And if you are going afterwards, you just look on the idea list, and it's going to show you the hurricane. In fact, you know what? Let me show you how to do that. Let me just show you. Where is that window at? Here it is. Let me just go over to here and go www.myretailtherapy.live. Okay. Yes. Just go.
It's live. Anything can happen
Yes,
when it's live.
I know. I reach. Nope, that's not. That's my web page. There we go.
There you go.
Well,
One of your
there
many
we go.
presences.
So if you go to my Amazon Live page, you'll see a little button over here that says, "Here, let me go to see what others see." It'll show you, to follow right here. But what you can do, and see, since we're live, it's showing you the carousel right here. But you can also go down here, and this is where the ideal list are. And there's a hurricane season list, and it has some other products in here too. Yeah, so you can always go and shop right here, and that will stay up. Let's go to here. Nope, that's the wrong one. I got it backwards.
Excited about that one, but
Okay.
yes. So can I tell a story about how this one came to be and how it became important to me? So
Absolutely.
during the middle of Snowvid, when we lost what we called being in the middle of COVID and also having unusual snow and ice in Houston, I had what I thought was a grand device that you could charge by charging up. And it was great because you could hear the radio. And when I did lose power in my house and was dependent on that radio, I valued it a lot. But it was a hand crank and it was kind of old. My mom had bought it for me for hurricanes like 20 years ago. Still worked. It can't have been 20 years ago because it had a USB jack on it. So I take that back. But it said you could charge a phone off of it. Well, I don't know what you would have to do to make that possible. I got a blister from cranking it for so long, and I ended up like tying a wooden spoon to try to get more leverage. I tried to MacGyver it, just wasn't going to happen. So they're great for radio. They're great for radio, but for charging your cell phone, you need something like this, and it is amazingly useful. I have a friend whose boyfriend actually insisted she carry this around in her car. Some of them are strong enough you can actually jump your own car with them. And you could always run your laptop wherever you are. They're just amazing, amazing products. I personally won't go camping or glamping without one again. I'm so happy to have one.
Right. Yeah, they have a video here that I'm going to just play here in the background so we can see. But, I put a couple of these in the carousel. And, that's the thing. If you're new to Amazon Live, you might see the carousel jump around as we go from product to product. So just to let you know. But I put a couple of different ones in here. This one has a solar panel on it, Amy. And so
awesome.
that's super helpful. So it gives you a couple of different options. You've got the batteries that you can use. You also have the USB. You can charge it. You can also do the hand crank, I believe. So it gives you a couple of options, and then the solar. So
and I will tell you, I'm sure the hand crank has improved since the decade or more or so ago that mine was purchased. So that's a good point, that even if you have a hurricane kit from years ago, it's time to refresh it because products may have improved significantly since then.
It's, technology, it's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
So, and this one also, as you can see, has an LED lantern on it. I mean, it's super lightweight, easy to carry with you. So if you need to during a hurricane, if you need to evacuate or, take cover somewhere else, you can take it with you. And that way, because also, your cell phone might lose a signal because the towers might be damaged, that kind of thing, but you're going to want to have power later. I mean, what was it? It was Ike. I lost power for 4 weeks, because they couldn't get power back on. So, hopefully you don't have to wait that long. But I mean, you could be out of power for several days, and another thing, Amy, is, a lot of stuff that we added in here are good for hurricane kits, but also disaster kits. So, our neighbors that are in California, or on the West Coast or things like that, even on the East Coast, we all have different kinds of things that we have to prepare for, whether it's tornadoes or earthquakes or hurricanes. And a lot of
ever increasingly so. Yes. Yeah, these are important all over for different kinds of disasters people go through, whether it's hurricanes, fires, floodwaters. If you have to evacuate quickly, this would be something I would really want on hand. It was probably the thing I was most excited about. That and the ways to store water that we'll talk about later. This is one that I went to Amazon and bought in the middle of Snowvid. Just showed up at my door. Loved Amazon for it.
Right? Amazon has everything from A to Z, right?
Yep.
So
right.
That's the beautiful thing about it. And I mean, also maybe pick these up for your parents, because if they need oxygen or a CPAP machine or things like that, sometimes people don't know about the affordability of these. I was really surprised that it was so affordable. And on this one, we've got a $25 off coupon. As long as you clip the little button here, that will give you $25 off at checkout. So that's super wonderful. And I've got Sam, one of my regular viewers, says, "Happy wonderful Wednesday, Megan." And she says, "Cute hair, Megan. Thank you so much." I know. Thank you so much for joining today, Sam. I appreciate it. So yeah, new hair. I decided not to be boring anymore, Amy.
New hair, new attitude, new you. I love it. I love it.
Okay, so I picked a couple of these different ones for the generator. But then also we talked about not walking through those floodwaters, right?
Don't do it. Yeah.
So,
don't do it. Now,
so what do you think of this? Go ahead.
So, not everybody's going to need one of these. And I don't want to terrify people moving to Houston that they're going to need a boat immediately. But if you are in a flood zone and, frankly, if you're someone who feels that you might have the need to go and rescue other people, because a lot of Houstonians are amazing leaders like that. I think this is something that it can't hurt to have, right? I have someone very close to me who drove all the way in from Austin to help rescue people during Hurricane Harvey. And so I don't know what kind of a boat that was, but I think an inflatable boat that you can keep stacked somewhere under your storage and under those stairs where you're going to hang out anyway. This is, I think, a really good idea. And it seemed I was surprised at the cost. It seemed pretty affordable.
Yeah.
It certainly can't hurt. Can't hurt to have one. Yeah.
Depends if, which size you want. They've got it in the 4-person and the 5-person. I'm showing the 5-person right now. But even the 4-person is significantly big. So, yeah. I mean, it's just, it just went down in price. Did you see that?
I did.
That was cool.
Watching falling prices. That's fun.
Right? I mean, I think it's not a lightning deal, but they literally just dropped the price, you guys, to $176.95. I don't know how long that's going to last.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That's the beauty of Amazon, though. But yeah, if you have a flood or you have a lot of water outside, you don't want to walk through it. You can fit the dog in it. You can fit your neighbors in it. You can fit your kids in it, up to 4 or 5 people. So, or 3 people in a dog or 4 people in a dog.
Dog first.
Right.
Dog always first.
And then you don't have to wade through all that gross, icky water. Nobody wants to do that.
Who wants to do that?
No. Oops. Hold on. I lost my screen down here. I have so many screens to manage.
I know. I've seen it again. Like if you were a kid, you would be like given time out from screen time because you have too much screen time. Okay. So I got really excited about this product this morning because, we've always had important documents to keep track of. Now we also have your COVID vaccination document to keep track of. And I do worry about keeping everything in one place because you need to have a lot of cash if you're going to have to evacuate in a hurricane or a flood. You need your passport, your ID. I was saved this week by having a copy of my ID when I didn't have my ID on me. So keeping copies of IDs somewhere like this is a great idea. And having something that can survive both a flood and a fire, because I'm here to tell you a lot of clients lost all their important documents in a specific neighborhood they were in that flooded badly. And those are really, really hard to replace. So your birth certificate, your passport, your driver's license. This particular product is both waterproof and fireproof, and that is amazing. It was designed by firefighters. So, I can't recommend that product highly enough. It's something that I've always had a safe, but I haven't been as cognizant as I should be of potential damage to flood and with flood waters and fire. So, I think this is next on my shopping list. I think I'll wait till we're done to start typing, but I'm really excited about this product.
Well, you mentioned you have a safe. I do too, but here's the thing. A lot of those times the safe is really, really heavy for a reason because you don't want somebody to come in and just take it, right? Just steal it. But the cool thing about this is that this is small enough to fit inside your permanent home safe. And that way it's a grab and go. So if you need to put the kids' birth certificates, your passport, some extra cash, all of your IDs, your credit card, maybe that emergency credit card, right? All of those things, it goes in here. You can just grab and go. So it's, you don't have time to think about, what is an emergency? You don't have time to think and go through the documents or the paper or go and find things here and there. You need it all in one place. And, this is great because it's lightweight and you can take it with you.
Yep. Yeah. I love this product. I think it should be in everyone's hurricane kit.
Yeah. I mean, and today we've got it for an additional 19% off. So I don't know how long that's going to last, but $42.97 is the price today. I think that is a heck of a bargain, honestly.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, and then next up, I love these. I mean, everybody should have one of these. The brand is Running Snail, which is kind of funny. That made me laugh. But it is one of Amazon's best sellers. It's an Amazon choice.
Yeah.
And we do have an additional 15% off coupon today. Just make sure that you click this little button right here. And this has 4 different ways to power it as well. Amy, do you have a emergency weather radio in your kit?
So my emergency weather radio, I was very happy with. It was too old to charge anything off of. So I may be taking a close look at what you have here. The NOAA station is really important. That's the national. I'm not good with acronyms today. I'm not going to say what it stands for, but it's purely a weather source. The fact that it's got that station on there as well is really cool. Hand cranking is awesome. I have a feeling it's so much more effective in newer devices. The solar power is awesome. And mine that got me through with radio on the 3rd day of Snowvid, when my cell phone was down, I didn't have power. I just needed to hear another human voice. And there's something about having the radio on that just makes you feel like you're not alone going through a crisis like that. So really, really important.
Yeah. And I like the fact that it has 4 different ways to charge it and this alarm as well. So if you get caught under a bunch of debris and it's hard for somebody to find you, you can turn this on and hopefully, somebody's going to hear it. Right.
Yeah.
That's great because you might not be able to scream loud enough for somebody. You might be drowned out, but this will continue to put off a sound continuously where your voice might run out.
Yeah.
But this will not.
Yeah.
So.
That sounds great.
Mm-hmm. And then when we were going over a couple of the other products, or no, I'm sorry, on the list, you had mentioned the fire extinguisher, and I actually forgot about adding that. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's right, because sometimes you get electrical fires, right?
Yeah.
Especially when we have all this lightning and like down power lines, when trees are falling, high winds, you're going to get some fires.
Well,
So.
and you start to rely more on gas cooking, and not everybody cooks with gas all the time, and so there's just and you may decide to campfire style it and put some food on a type of campfire. And when you're not used to doing that all the time, then you just need to have a fire extinguisher ready. And truly, there's just no reason not to have one of these in every major room in your house. Recommended placement is kitchen, living room, bedroom, garage is hugely important. That's actually really great, Megan, because I have three and somehow they all ended up under my kitchen sink. So that's a good reminder to go drop one in the garage. Fire extinguishers are not expensive, but they're really expensive when you need one and you don't have one. That's
Yeah.
a massive cost. So
it's scary when that fire starts getting out of control.
Yeah.
If you have something you can reach and grab for, because a fire will spread so quickly.
Yeah.
Even a candle. I've had a candle on when I was in my 20s. I had a candle. Luckily, I was sitting right there, but it was sitting on the coffee table, a wood coffee table. And I don't know why, but all of a sudden, I guess the glass around it got really hot and it exploded all the wax, the hot wax and everything everywhere
Oh my
else
gosh.
onto the carpet, onto the couch. And it started a huge fire. And I was like, oh my God. And it happened right in front of me. Just a weird freak thing. And I was like, now I understand why candles can start fires.
Yep. Yeah.
That was
And
crazy.
especially if you have kids in the house, sometimes they're going to do silly things with, when they're getting curious. It's just, you should have these no matter what. And just keep them in those great places. Watch that video on Amazon because that looked like it was the kitchen, the garage, the bedrooms. It's really important to have multiple ones of them.
And I did include just the single one at the $21.48 price. And then there's also a 4-pack as well. So if you need to put it in, all of your different rooms, there's a 4-pack available, and that has an 11% discount today.
Oh,
so there's
great.
Yeah. So you're going to get a discount for, being safe. It's a safety discount.
Safety discount. Does this mean we're going to do the safety dance?
We should.
I'll stop.
Okay, this is a really wonderful one. You brought this up, and I was like, oh my gosh. All right, talk about this.
This is something that another realtor I know gives these out as closing gifts, and I think it's brilliant. So when I had to go turn off the water to my house from the street, fortunately I had a really good wrench and I was able to do it, but I had to dig into really mucky mud and it took a lot of strength. I'm surprisingly strong for my little fragile feminine hands, but really this would have been so much easier. And some people absolutely cannot open or close the water to their house without this key. It's called a key, water meter key. And all you do is go out and lift that little plastic rectangle that's in front of your house that's always getting mowed over, and then you have to reset it and put it back. That's where your water reset is. So you go out, you have one of these, you push it down into the ground, and you just turn, and that will turn the water off and on to your house. The reason you want it off is that if during hurricane season or flooding season, the water becomes such that you can't drink it, you really don't want that flowing through your pipes. So it's better to turn it off. It's also a really good idea to know how to do this in case your house has an interior flood, you have a pipe burst, or anything of that nature. You need to be able to run to the street, drop it, and turn. Everybody should have one. In 14 years of real estate, I have never seen one of these transfer with a house ever. So it should be something that you should have in your kit, but you should just have no matter what. So they are priceless and important.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a fantastic. Oh, I like this. Looks much better. I like our little.
Yeah, I like this too. I can see you. I can see
you so much better.
Hello, friend.
Why wasn't I doing that before? No, this is great. I did not know that. I did not know about these. So, and today we've got it at a 21% discount. So thank you, Amazon. I mean, it's so affordable. It's like, $25.
Important. It's almost like they know that there are emergencies going on, and they're generously giving discounts to the things that you most need in hurricane season. It doesn't seem like a coincidence. That's pretty cool.
We have Hurricane Elsa that's brewing
right now, out on the Atlantic. It's actually supposed to be coming through Florida today, if I'm not mistaken. I have a sorority sister out there, so I'm keeping her in my prayers. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. We're always checking on each other, whether it's Texas hits or Florida gets hit. We just check back and forth.
Yeah.
I love mine of this product. And I love mine so much that my dad got envious and my mom bought him one. It's amazing. It's amazing. I even impressed my boyfriend, who was like, wow. Yeah. Love this.
I always have kept batteries. So I always have like every single kind of battery there is. And like a lot of my friends that live in my building were like, why do you have so many batteries? But then when they need batteries, who do you think they come knocking on my door? But I love this too, Amy, because it actually has a battery tester. And like when stuff goes out, sometimes it's only one battery that's gone bad, right? Not both. So you're not only that, but you're saving money.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can actually tell which ones, need it. Or if they're a rechargeable battery, you can tell like where the battery's at. So this is a great kit.
It's also really important for safety because we as realtors were educated about what not to do. If you have a box full of batteries, just loose batteries, that can start a fire.
Really?
Yes. That is extremely dangerous. And I did it for years. So yeah, and when I'm out showing properties and people check the doors and I see loose batteries, I'm like, oh, stop. Don't do that. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous. So yeah, it's fun. It satisfies your OCD having all the batteries lined up. It's just, oh, that feels so good. But it's also good for safety. Really important. And when the hurricane come, you're going to need to power that flashlight, and you're going to be hunting for the D batteries and C's depending on the size of your flashlight, and they need to be somewhere you can keep them.
Yes. And I think you should keep all of these things together, just somewhere that's all of the things that we're going over. Yes.
And unpackage them. Don't leave them in their boxes. Unpackage them. Play with them a little while so you know how they work. Yeah.
Well, so the meal's ready.
Here's the military girl. Here comes my military Megan.
So yeah, when I was in college, I was in Army ROTC, and they used to give us these MREs, and we all like had a joke about what MRE standed for, and so everybody would call it meals rejected by everybody. But this was like the old-fashioned MREs. Yeah. They have since improved the quality of it. There were only a few before that people actually wanted to eat, and they all would have a candy bar. So of course that would suffice. Right, but everybody would fight over the ones that they wanted. But now they have so many more that like there's just better meals in there. It's a fully inclusive kit. It has you can actually cook. It's a chemical reaction little thing in a bag. And it will actually cook your meal. So you actually will have a hot meal. And they're just
Wow.
I know it's super cool. It's got coffee in there. And if you were on
Gosh.
if you had to stay awake, like if we went out to a we would have to go to Louisiana all the time and do these little excursion trips out in the middle of nowhere, and people would have to stay up overnight and watch duty, like be on duty to keep watch, right? So and you do it in cycles. So a lot of people take the coffee grounds and just and mix it with the hot cocoa in there, because there's hot cocoa and coffee grounds, and if you mix the two together, then you can eat it, and that will keep you awake. And so that's a little trick. So if you're you'll be wired, but you'll be awake,
You'll be
and it'll
wishing you could
taste
do
better.
laundry, but yeah. Well, I'm amazed you can actually cook the MREs now. That's not what I pictured. I pictured something a soldier would have to choke down, but that's pretty amazing.
Trust
Um,
me, it used to
yeah,
be you had to choke it down,
yeah.
but now they're so much better. They taste better. I mean, people really like them. They take them with them camping, hiking, things like that. But and
My
now they're
shopping
not
list is growing. Yes.
right. And these will last for a very long time, like many,
Cool.
many years. Yeah. So you
Cool.
don't have to worry about it going bad or an expiration date.
I love it.
So yeah, and then so get you some of those, Amy. Put those in your kit.
Seriously, I could live with them in the back of my car when you're a busy realtor and you forget to eat that, that may just have to go back there anyway. Well, here's an important thing that realtors carry in the trunks of their car, and everyone should have in their hurricane kits too. This one's yours, and this is brilliant. Very
So
important.
this is a 100 piece home repair toolkit. I liked it because it had everything that you could possibly think of needing, and it's all in one kit. I mean, you can obviously use it for other things around your house, but I like the fact that keep it nearby the hurricane kit because it's a great price. And then when you need something in an emergency, you know exactly where it is. It's got everything. So when you have to turn off when you have to turn off things with a wrench, when it's as a disaster, if you got to turn off, your water, if you got to turn off
Gas supplies.
the gas supplies, things like that, you're going to need some tools. So I thought this was fantastic. It's just under $40, and it's super
Crazy.
high quality, and it's got some really great reviews, almost 5 stars. So a lot of people have really liked it. But I also included one for the ladies, and it's in pink.
It's adorable. I love
It's
this.
adorable. I
You
know.
know, we should
So
all have pink tools.
yeah. So it's not a 100 piece, it's a 15 piece, but the thing about it is it's 15 pieces and it's pink. It's lightweight.
Yeah.
So this is something that ladies can carry with them. Put it in your car, put it near the disaster kit, put it under the sink, things like that. It's not going to be, super heavy to lug around the house, that kind of thing. But it's going to give you all of the things that are important to have. So you've got the drill, it's got a lithium ion drill, it's got a hammer, it's got the wrench in there, and it's got a few other things.
And I will
So
say from experience that a drill that is built for a woman's hand, all jokes aside, is much better, much more powerful. It's usually got more torque, and it just works much better for us. And I own a few drills, but the one that was designed for a woman is so much more effective. I like it so much more.
yeah. So that's super cute. And I highly suggest that everybody picks this up today.
Yep.
Okay, this next one, I've got to tell you, I first heard about this when I went and did my marathon last year. This is pretty neat, Amy. The guys that ran the Airbnb that I was staying in, they said, "Have you heard about life straw. And I was like, no, what is this? And he's like, oh, our friend invented it. And you can use it to drink water out of anything, even if it's like a bayou. It was like, oh my God, no way. I'm like, yeah, here's the video. And like all this, I was like, that's crazy. So it literally has the whole thing is all in one. You can see here the guy's drinking from a stream in the middle of the boonies. So it will filter all of those pathogens, any kind of parasites, like all of that stuff is going to be filtered out. And so if you get into a situation and there's an emergency and you don't have any water that's flowing, and you're going to have to go and find water because you're out of water, this might be an option for you. Also, you can take it with you when you're camping, or for me, we were talking about for ultra running, right? So like when you're doing a lot of trail running and that kind of thing, you can get through, go through several miles, like 15 or so miles, and you haven't seen a soul. And so hopefully you don't run out of water, because that would be bad.
That's a great device. Did you end up using it while you were marathoning?
No, because, I didn't find out until afterwards, but I do plan on getting this. Yeah.
I think floods and hurricanes are really even more so why to get one. Because running out, they advise that you keep 7 days supply of potable water. That's a gallon per person for everyone in your house during a hurricane or flood. That's a lot of water. And you very well likely may run out of potable water, but still have water you might bathe in, or gray water, right? And that's an incredible, I have to tell you, I think it'd be very scary using it the first time.
I know.
But
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. Like, oh, please don't let this taste like mud. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah. You can't go longer than, I believe it's 72 hours without water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not good. Humans just can't go without water.
Not good.
And I think you can go, 30 days without food, I think, but you can't go more than 72 hours without.
Let's be honest, it's COVID. Nobody's gone more than 30 minutes without food.
I know, we were talking about that before. I was like, I feel like a chipmunk.
It's all right. Happy wait. We're almost through it.
I'm so happy.
Wait. Happy wait.
I'm so happy.
So happy. I'm filling up the screen. Yes.
Yes. The whole thing.
The whole thing. All right. What's next?
So we've got, you can't miss this one. This is the first aid kit. And the cool thing about it, Amy, is that it also includes a mini kit that you can use for your car. Which I really, really like. Yeah. So you can have the big kit where your hurricane stuff is. And then you also have a little mini kit that it's like a bonus, and you can take that, put it in your car, your SUV, your camper.
It's a little escape pod. It's an escape pod that goes to I think that's brilliant. Brilliant. Mm-hmm. Not enough people carry first aid kits around with them. And when you're going through some kind of an environmental crisis, you absolutely have to have one. And I would even suggest you consider getting two, one for you and one for a neighbor who just didn't think that well ahead, because they're just not that expensive, and it's just the right thing to do, especially if you're going to get that inflatable boat and go check on people. It would be good to have a couple of these, I think. Be the good Samaritan.
I think another thing is that a lot of people think, well, I already have first aid supplies in my house. I don't need a first aid kit. But again, when it becomes an emergency, you don't have time to go and collect things. That's
the Band-Aids from the third floor, and the hydrogen peroxide from the second floor. And right. It needs all in one place.
All in one place. And hopefully you're going to store that in a place where you can also take shelter, whether that be your basement or whether that's a closet or a bathroom, something like that.
Yep.
So I really like this kit. It's got really great reviews. And
it's got a lot of stuff in it.
It has a ton of stuff. This guy's getting a bandaged head.
Ooh, he got a boo-boo. Very,
So there you
very
go.
convincing. Okay. I got my list. Got my list
You got
going.
your list?
Got my list. I like that one.
So, I also included this wonderful flare gun, just in case you might happen to need it. If you get stuck, you remember seeing all that footage of the people that were stuck on the roofs in Hurricane Katrina, and the helicopters were looking for people. That's what that reminds me of, because there were people out there that were firing off their flare guns so that the helicopters could find them and rescue them, because it was just a sea of water.
That's a great idea.
Also, right? And it's not expensive. And then this great waterproof, windproof lighter. If you need some heat, because you've been soaked to the bone and there's a lot of high winds, you might need to start a fire for some warmth. And if you don't have the waterproof matches, which are also in this kit, then this is a great thing to have as well.
That's genius. That
20% off. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's an Amazon choice as well. And I know we have you have another appointment to get to, so I am going to kind of skip through a few of these. Uh-oh, what happened? Did I lose you? Where'd you go?
I'm still here.
Okay. All right.
I just see snap on your page there.
Yes.
Now I see us.
There we go. Now we're back. I don't know. All kinds of weird tech issues in the past few days.
I know. Trust me. Real estate feels it.
Oh my gosh.
Folding shovel, survival shovel. That's great, especially if you have mud that has built up around your house from rising waters. That's super to have, especially if you're going to help other people dig out too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit. I included the matches here, but here is something that we had talked about previously about some kind of cover, like if you lose cover. So this is what they call the world's toughest ultralight survival tent, and it's made from Mylar, and you can put 2 people in it, and it comes in this very compact little bag. But this is fantastic. If you lose your shelter and you need some emergency shelter, and it's going to keep you warm too.
Yeah.
So
I love the don't die instructions there. So yeah, don't die. Have a tent. Turn around, don't drown, hunker down, don't die.
And you're almost getting it for half off, because it's $19.95, but today they're giving it to us at a 30% discount. So it's going to take $9, almost $9 off. So you're going to get it for about $10.
Wow. That's impressive.
I know. It's super impressive. Okay, how about this water? We need water. This, I don't know if you've heard about Blue Can Pure Water, Amy, but this has a shelf life of 50 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's specifically designed as emergency drinking water. And so you can get a 24 pack of the 12-ounce cans for $49.99. This is one of the things that you just want to keep with the hurricane kit itself, rather than just a thing of plastic water bottles, because you'll drink those, right? But this is fantastic because it's in the metal can. It's going to last 50 years. Hopefully, you will replace it within that 50 years, But yeah, 50-year shelf life is pretty fun. You might be able to just will it to your children.
I was going to say that would have to go in my will. I'm 51. I want to die young, stay pretty. Yeah, that's a long time. That's a long time.
It is. And these are cute too, and super useful. They're, I think these would make fantastic little branded products to give away. But these are emergency Mylar emergency blankets, and you get a pack of 4 in this little kit. And so what a fantastic thing to put into your hurricane kit.
It doesn't have to be super chilly for you to want one of those. I did the Avon Walk for breast cancer every year for 10 years running, and that was in April. And when we got up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready to go do the second walk, they would give us all those because it was cold before you started moving. So those are, don't think you have to be in a, a winter weather environment to want those. Those are really useful and absolutely should be part of your kit.
And then, the all-weather 3M duct tape is fantastic. You may need this. I sold a bunch of these before when I did something about disasters. And it was one of the things that a lot of people had questions about. What kind of tape do you use? Because everybody knows that tape does not usually stand up to water, right? But Amy, we also talked about plastic sheeting, right? So, touch on that a little bit.
So, there's a few reasons why you're going to want to have plastic sheeting or tarps. And one of the most important ones is if in high winds, some of your pieces of your roof, some different shingles can fly off, or a little bit of the flashing. And it's very important to be able to just put some temporary tarp over there, get it down with that kind of tape, and keep your roof safe from leaking. And then you also want to be able to kind of protect, if there's water coming in on things, you want to be able to protect your food supplies, all the rest of your supplies, try to keep them as dry as possible. So that plastic sheeting is really important.
And I have that shown on the screen right now as well. I was really surprised that Amazon had some commercial plastic sheeting, but they've literally thought of everything from A to Z.
Yep, literally everything.
And then, and I think another thing that people forget about is the all of the dust particulate that's in the air. There's a lot of fine particles. There's also, when you have natural disasters, there might have been chemical plants nearby that had some leaks or things like that. So you also want to make sure that you have a respirator mask, especially for going outside. And then also because there's just going to be a lot of stuff in the wind. The hurricanes bring all kinds of stuff in that wind.
Yeah, especially on the dirty side.
Yeah. So, and if you are allergic to dust, my throat will close up, in fact. So this is super important. Or if you have like asthma or any kind of breathing issues, make sure that you have one of these in your kit. You need the full respirator ones.
Yeah.
Okay, just a couple of more super important things. I mean, I've put a manual can opener in here in pink. I put some toilet paper because we know about toilet paper gate from last year.
There's no joke. And I see that paper map as well, just jumping ahead. Keep a paper map in case the cell towers go down and you lose your GPS. It's something I'll be buying today. And I have to admit, my boyfriend was this smart and he's done it forever. And it just occurred to me, you need to have a map. You need to have a paper-based map so that if you have to evacuate and your data service doesn't work, you will be able to find where you're going. And if that data goes down, it's going to include cars like mine that's a Lexus that has a GPS system built in. If all infrastructure systems are down, that's going to be down too. So it's all going to come back to all of us, rich, poor, whatever. We're all going to need that map, that basic paper map. It'll be the equalizer of all of us.
Yes. And I've included, since we are in Texas, you and I are in Texas, I included a couple of different ones. We've got the state map, the Houston region map, and then also Houston streets itself. So, you can go, you can zoom in analog style.
Yep.
So, there's a few other things in here in the carousel, like the garbage bags that you might need for personal sanitation. There's, of course, the Atex City lanterns, which are great. I know a lot of our viewers in California have purchased those for earthquakes and things like that. and have used them.
I'm going to shout out for those full body wipes, if I may,
Yeah.
because for a while there, we were not supposed to use the water in Houston, and that happens a lot. And you just start to feel disgusting. And those nice scented full body wipes will just leave you feeling fresh and clean and back to normal. Maybe throw some dry shampoo in there as well. If you're high maintenance, get some dry shampoo in there. But the body wipes, truly, the body wipes and a ponytail were all I needed to get through Snowbid, and huge difference. So yeah.
Yeah, they say, and when I was out in the field with our ROTC, that was one thing that they always mentioned. Make sure you keep yourself clean, your hygiene clean. It will keep your spirits up. So make sure you always, clean yourself, keep your hygiene up. It's, here, all those certain particular areas.
All the important bits.
Sure. Yep. Yes, all those important bits. And then, also hand sanitizer, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that you're touching that's been contaminated or been touched by floodwaters. So, but the one that I'm super excited about here is we had talked about the Water Bob, and the Water Bob is actually sold out on Amazon, right?
I love the Water Bob. So keep an eye if it comes back. But in the meantime, this looks pretty good.
Yeah. So tell us about this and how it works.
So I can speak more to how a Water Bob works, but I can kind of compare the two for you. A Water Bob basically sits in a bathtub, and you can fill, it's like a bladder that you would find on the inside of a box of wine, which is kind of like what you're seeing right there. The Water Bob is huge and basically turns your bathtub into a way to supply yourself with that potable water, as long as you fill it before they tell you to turn your water sources off. These are a really great idea for the same purposes, but also because they're portable, right? You can take these if you're told to evacuate and you have to jump in that car and you might be sitting on I-45 for half a minute. Then it's good to have something that you can just throw in the car and go. Don't count on all the sodas everybody's drinking or a couple bottles of water. You run through water a lot faster than you think you might. So I think these are great. It says you can freeze them, which is great because then they're nice and cold when you take them on the road. And it's also, everybody can kind of have their own. I think these are great. These are great. I would encourage people to also look at the Water Bob. They're really kind of for different purposes. And I think the Water Bob sold out because of what Florida is going through right now. But wait and watch this channel and this list. And I think more than likely they'll be back before long.
So I know you have another appointment to get to because you're Amy's on the move. And right. And real estate is on fire.
It is.
So why don't we tell everybody how to reach you if they have any questions about real estate?
So I always tell people you can call me, text me, or send smoke signals to 832-865-2390. I'm always here to help you with the market in Houston, the real estate market. I've been at it 14 years now, been one of the top rated agents, and I would love to help. Certainly any friend of Megan's is a friend of mine. You can find more about me at Amy's on the Move on YouTube, Amy on the Clock on Instagram, as well as the other one you see there, LinkedIn, Amy McGee, Twitter, Realtor Amy, and Facebook, In the Loop with Amy McGee. Megan, it was so much fun doing this with you. And like I said, anytime Megan says, do you want to, before she finishes, I say yes, because it just makes life so much more fun. So thank you again.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you coming on today. It was such a pleasure to have you. I hope you will come back. I've got some stuff planned. So mark your calendar. I told you a little bit about it before we came on. So make sure you mark your calendar because I would love to have you back on again.
Absolutely. Too fun.
So I think that's going to wrap.
Friends. Yeah. Bye. Oh, we're both going. Okay.
Yes, we're both going to go. So, hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining my retail therapy today. Thank you to my guest, Amy McGee. And you know what? I'll be back tomorrow. But if you want to see this from the beginning and if you missed anything, make sure you go to www.myretailtherapy.live, as you can see down here, and give me a follow, and you'll be able to see all the stuff that we featured in the carousel today. So thank you guys so much. Say bye, Amy.